evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good to see you here tonight. Jim Thompson is my name. This is the Amory Arts Association, Amory Classic Theater, putting on a show for Steve Mireau, right?
Mireau.
Steve Mireau, excuse me, Steve, I'm sorry. My English sometimes isn't all that good. I grew up and went to school at Amory, so I think that's why. Anyway, Steve is here tonight. When I first saw him, I couldn't believe what he was doing.
Right.
Here he's up here, handicapped, playing guitar, singing, and doing what he does, and doing a very, very good job as far as I'm concerned. So we had him here for our opener, we had him here for a little preview show last week, we brought him back this week to do a concert for us. Now as we get going through the show tonight, Steve will do some singing, he will explain some, what's going on with him, how things work, how he does what he does and does it so well. And the fact that he also has CDs here for sale. They're back in the lobby, they're 10 bucks a piece. He has t-shirts and sweatshirts, I think.
Long sleeves.
Long sleeve sweatshirts and different things, which you probably don't need tonight. But you're probably gonna need sometime soon down the road, so. But, you know, to listen to him, for the first time I listened to him, I couldn't believe what he was doing up here. I wanted to bring him back, I wanted to get him up here and show everybody what he can do. He's very good. I love this guy, I love his stuff. And with that, I give you Steve Mireau?
Mireau.
Steve Mireau!
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Welcome, you guys. So my name is Steve Mireau. I'm from just down the road, New Richmond, Wisconsin, was where I grew up. The reason I'm sitting up here in front of you guys in the wheelchair today, 10 years ago I was paralyzed. I used to race motocross. I was a professional rider for several years. During a practice session 10 years ago, I just had a mishap, ended up going over the handlebars, and the bike and I collected on the backside of a jump. For those of you that don't know what motocross is, it's the dirt bike off-road where I was racing on a closed course, doing obstacles. I would race supercross, arena cross, and motocross. Motocross is outdoor during the summer. Arena cross and supercross are indoor type settings in front of thousands of people. But there isn't a lot of room for error when you are racing professional. But like I say, just a practice session went wrong, and I went over the bars and collected with the bike. I broke my neck, ended up severing the spinal cord at the C6 location, basically the top of my shoulders. With that, the doctor said I'm going to be a quadriplegic for the rest of my life. They said, we heard that you used to be a construction worker, you used to ride, you used to play guitar, you did several things outdoors, water ski, hunt, fish. There's so many things. They told me right away that I would probably never do any of those again. I would have to adjust my life. I'm going to be a quadriplegic for the rest of my life. And to me, at the time, I wasn't able to move my arms very much or feel them. And so I thought I was going to be basically a vegetable sitting in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So with a lot of hard work and therapy, I did come out of it with a little bit of movement, my left arm. I was able to touch my face eventually, and then that grew to being able to lift up over my head, and I got the tricep to come back with e-stimulation and a lot of cutting-edge technology. The right side, unfortunately, I wasn't able to gain as much. I've got a bicep, some shoulder muscles, a wrist flexor, so I don't have any finger dexterity, which is kind of confusing. People see me moving my arms, they're like, well, you're a paraplegic, and quadriplegic means that you have impairment in all four limbs. So I can move my arms, I only feel half of them, and I don't have any finger motor function. I only have sensation in half of the arm. With that, I wanted to get back to playing guitar, which just for myself is kind of what I was going for. So I worked with occupational therapy, just trying to manipulate the guitar. So we started making a splint, and then I started just kind of doing different configurations with my dad, and we built a stand to hold the guitar. And then I came up with this splint, and I'm constantly changing this, making this better. Because anybody that's out there that plays guitar, they know that if you don't hold down the string just right, it buzzes kind of funny, or it just sounds dead. So I tune the guitar to an open tuning, which I'm playing in the key of D tonight. I do play in different keys, but so I'm gonna actually just start off and play a song for you and show you kind of how I do this, and then I'll explain a little bit more about everything. Something happened here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Oh, there's a man with a gun over there who's telling me I got to beware. Think it's time to stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. At the Amory Classic Theater on a Friday, battle lines are being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. And young people, they're speaking their mind, and getting so much resistance from behind. It's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ooh, 1,000 people in the street. Ooh, singing songs and a carrying sign. Ooh, mostly saying hooray for our side. It's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. To your life, and it will be. Ooh, and it starts just when you're always afraid. Ooh, step out of line and it'll come and take you away where you better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We got to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We got to stop it now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going, we got to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. For what it's worth. So as you can see on like that song, I'm playing and I'm doing some funky stuff, and at first I just started picking the guitar, trying to watch what I was doing because I don't really have sensation. And I know without the function, I've got a pick glued to a pick that hangs down just far enough. Luckily these fingers just stay closed all the time. I wear a glove because I have so much atrophy in my palm to do this palm muting. And so I've been constantly kind of just challenging myself to play different music, different styles of music, and try to figure out a way to play it similar to what they do, but also do it with whatever works for me to be in time. You'll notice my song selection, tempo-wise, has changed a lot from when I was playing guitar before my injury. I was playing a lot of more intricate, harder stuff. I would play some faster stuff, some more rock and roll. Now I've kind of went more blues, more ballad style songs, just because the tempo with my breathing, just using the diaphragm, I'm trying to feed oxygen to the muscles to hold down the strings and manipulate the strings, but also sing and keep myself upright, because if I exhale, I just fall forward without having any trunk control. So those are just some of the challenges that I face when I'm playing, and I'm constantly changing things, tweaking things just a little bit, and adapting to, there's different picks that I'll use for different songs just because it drops down on the strings better for picking. When I'm strumming, I don't really want it to grab on so much. So, and then this piece of material, at first we were gluing it on, and you can see staples and Velcro. Now I'm able to remove it because in a show I can usually burn through this material, and so then I need to replace that, otherwise the strings will buzz. But once I started playing the guitar again, I also got back to some songwriting because I felt like I had a lot to say. One of my influences in songwriting was John Prine, so I'm going to play you guys a John Prine song. I'm a woman named after my mother. Old man was another. Child was growing old. Trees were lighting, thunder was silent. This old house would have burned down a long time ago. Maybe an angel flies from Montgomery. Maybe a postman of an rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. Believing this is living, just a hard way to go. I was a young girl, happy cowboy. He wasn't much to look at, just a free rambling man. That was a long time, no matter how hard I tried. These years just flow by like a broken down dam. Maybe an angel rise from Montgomery. Make me a poster of a rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. Believing this is living, it's a hard way to go. Lies in the kitchen, I can hear all her buzzing, but I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, have nothing to say? Make me an angel flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of a rodeo. Please give me one thing that I can hold on to. Believe that this is living, it's a hard way to go. Believe that this is living, it's a hard way to go. Believe that this is living, it's a hard way to go. So you can see I put some lube on. This is actually string conditioner, which you would put on your strings to make them last longer, not rust. But I found the silicone material acts just like fingers, but it grabs onto the strings a little bit too much. It makes a kind of a swishy sound. So when I put the stringies on, I can slide it up and down, and you can't hear my transfers between chords as much, which I think sounds a little bit better. So with the songwriting, I ended up just kind of chipping away, finished writing some old songs that I had half written before I broke my neck, but also wrote a couple new ones. And I've got 7 songs, I believe, on the traveling album. I've also got a cover song CD that there's 19 songs on. So make sure if you guys grab a t-shirt or anything, take a free cover CD. I'm coming out with another one. I just don't want to pay the royalties and all the stuff on that right now. So for right now, it's free. The traveling album is $10. Make sure you take some guitar picks for any future players, or if you're a player yourself. I've got some pics with my website on it. Make sure you check out my website. But this was a song that you can tell what time of year I wrote it. I was sitting outside the hospital, and just because I wanted to get out of the place for a little while, but it was cold outside, and all I could think of was somewhere warm where I wanted to be. The song is called Getaway. I wanna go where the warm wind blows. If it's over Florida, even Mexico. Just gotta get away from all the cold and dry. Get the ocean spray and a warm sunshine. I gotta go get on a plane, fly somewhere south, somewhere so far away. I wanna go, gotta get away. Body's aching and my hands are cold. Turn on the TV, only to know. The weatherman says it's gonna be cold sometime, but I'll look for warm and you'll be fine. I gotta go get on a plane, fly somewhere south, somewhere so far away. I wanna go, gotta get away. Never snow, where only that old wind blows. I wanna find myself in that warm sunshine. Oh no, it's all fine. I gotta go get on a plane, fly somewhere south, somewhere so far away. I wanna go, but I gotta get away. Gotta go, get away. Wanna go. I wanna go where that warm wind blows. Arizona, Florida, even Mexico. I wanna feel that warm sunshine. Oh no, it's all fine. I gotta go get on a plane, fly somewhere south, somewhere so far away. I wanna go, 'cause I gotta get away. Thank you. So I started riding the motocross at about 16 years old, which is kind of a little bit later in life. I got introduced to motorcycles on my grandparents' farm, riding with my dad to take the cows down to the pasture in a different location. And I was totally hooked on that vibration and that feeling of losing your stomach going over the field driveways and stuff. But I bought a dirt bike and a truck and stuff and started racing at 16. I finally went pro at about 20 years old. Which was kind of fast for a person. When I did do that, some of the local people, there was younger kids that were riding and stuff, and I would help them out at the tracks and whatnot. Some of their dads actually would pay me to, or pay for my stay and drive the bikes and fly me to locations that were warm and stuff. This song kind of was actually stems from some of that. I was able to go to a lot of nice places throughout traveling around racing motorcycles, but also just to practice and try different things. It was cool, and I really enjoyed all the places I went. After all the travel and stuff, I did find out that I really like it back here. I like the lakes, I like the rivers, I like the clean air, the trees, the change of the seasons. So this is kind of a place I like to stay. And you can also see that I've got some artwork on the sides. I ended up starting to paint 7 years ago just to decorate my house, and it escalated to people wanting to buy stuff, and then I just kept trying different things. I started doing landscapes, and then I started doing more abstract stuff as well. So I've got several pieces of artwork throughout this area as well as Minnesota. So you can check out Ink Junkie, which just opened up in Richmond. It's right on Main Street. It is a tattoo and piercing place, which sounds kind of funny, but the front part of it's a fine art gallery, and it's actually a really nice shop. The guys are really nice, so if you stop in there, I've got like 20 pieces hanging up for sale. These pieces that you see here are for sale as well, but I've also got into the Stillwater Artist Guild Gallery, and so I've got a handful of pieces down there. And just, I also organize some of my own art shows and go to some of these outdoor events, so you might see me around. But I do enjoy doing, people are like, what do you like to paint? And I don't really know what I like to do. I kind of like that people ask me to do stuff and challenge me. Have you ever done this, or have you ever done that? And I usually say, a lot of times I'm saying no, and then, but now I have a big bag of tricks because people have asked me to do custom paintings. So make sure you take the card if you want any custom things done. You can ask me about pricing. Prices do vary with different canvas styles as well as with different styles of painting. But I really enjoy doing different things. Portraits are not my favorite. I've tried a few times, and I just can't get over the attention to detail. So when I do paint, because I can't grab onto the paintbrush, I actually just stick a paintbrush between my fingers, and if I keep this wrist muscle locked, that just pulls the tendons on the finger kind of closed so I can lightly hold something. And so I just hold it, and then I use my whole arm to kind of paint. So a lot of times I'll lay the paintings down flat and paint a lot, because then I'm not trying to stay upright. So I'll do different things, and then I'll stand it up, and it's kind of funny because sometimes I'm doing the landscapes, I think I got it good, I stand it up, and the whole horizon's crooked. So I have to end up straightening that out, but I'm learning, so with all of this, which is life, I think. You can check out my website too. I've also got some CDs on, or if you want to buy the updated version, people like that digital format, you can go to cdbaby.com. Is there any questions out there, just off the bat? I can't really see much, but... Jim, is there anything you want to know?